G'day, Heath here from pickinglessons.com. Trip to Sligo. I love this melody. It's a great jig in the key of E minor. Now this arrangement we're going to learn here in this lesson, this is a free lesson at pickinglessons.com. So we're going to start out with part A here, but jump over to pickinglessons.com. We'll continue with part B. You've got the tablature there, and you'll also have a play along of the entire tune, tab on screen, nice and slow. That's all free at pickinglessons.com. You'll also have a play along track and a backing track that you can download there as well. So check that out. Now, we're going to look at part A here first. So we are in the jig timing, so that's 6/8. 6/8 has 2 beats to the measure, but 6/8 notes is how we tend to break it down, and there's a lot of that we're picking. So, for example, this opening couple of measures. So there's our pulse, 1, 2, 1, 2. We divide that pulse into threes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6/8 notes in the measure, but 2 groups essentially, 2 beats, 2 halves. So we have a bit of picking variation we find. There's 2 main variations. There's this rhythm that we have at the beginning of the tune. Quarter note, 8th, 3 and 8. So 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's our rhythm there. Now, when we come across this picking, this rhythm structure, we're going to pick it in a particular pattern. That's right hand going down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, so right hand, down, up, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of the goals here is that we're going to pick down on the pulse. So every time that beat comes in, we're going to be picking a downstroke. So that will get a little more complicated as we progress through, but that one's pretty cruisy, that rhythm there. Down, up, down, up, down. When we get to the second measure though, we've got another down following straight away, but same picking structure. Left hand notes, left hand fingering is pretty straightforward, just in this open position on the mandolin. There's some guides in the tablature there, but you got your first finger, we've got our third finger on fret 5, first finger on fret 2 at the moment. In the second measure there, our second finger plays fret 4. But that's pretty standard for left hand, yeah? So let's string together these first 2 measures just for the right hand, thinking about how that works to begin with. 4, 5, 6. 1 and up, down, 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 up, down, down to the third measure. So notice that we have down, down there at the end of the measure to the beginning of the new measure. That's a downbeat. That's really important. The 3 notes in the second half of beat 1, down, up, down, we're just alternating, but because of the 3-note grouping, it does mean we get that double down to emphasize the next beat. It's a really common way and a really great way of going about these jigs. So if we move on to measure 3, we have a similar concept. Identical to measure 1, measure 4. The rhythm structure just flips, so we're going to start out with the down, down, up. Yeah, so the quarter note we hold and then pick the 8th note as an up. So those 4 measures, let's have a look at measure 5. Measure 5 changes the rhythm structure, as does measure 6 and 7. And so in measure 5, we have 2 groupings of the 3/8 notes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our right hand, down, up, down, up, down. With the melody. Down, up, down, up, down. That theme will continue through measure 6 as measure 7 and measure 8. The left hand is straightforward enough, it's just the E minor scale as we move through that E minor scale. So there's nothing too fancy about that in the open position there. What you really want to focus on, I think, is your picking hand and getting those picking patterns that we're focusing on, because it really does help define and emphasize the feel of a jig and the pulse within this 6/8 time signature. So down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. We can apply these rhythms to the chords too, so we might try that in a moment. But if we just have a quick run through this first section, so part A gives us this. 4, 5, 6. Down, up, down, down. Down, up, down, up, down. And we would repeat, so that part A section will repeat through twice. The second ending we replace, so measure 9 instead of measure 8, and that will lead us on to part B. We'll check that out though in the next video, pickinglessons.com for that one. But right hand picking structure is really important. It really does define the pulse and what we're playing here. So a little quicker. Yeah, you hear that feel that we want in that right hand to give that melody a nice strong feel for the jig. That rhythm structure you can borrow for the rhythm as well. So for the chords, you go down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Just use that one all the way through, would work great. Yeah, so that sort of idea, down, up, still emphasizing the pulse. So we're emphasizing that down beat in our playing. Down, up, down. So every pulse ends up being a down strum, but really I was just borrowing the rhythm structure from the melody to apply to the chords. So that works great. Okay, jump over to pickinglessons.com. We will continue part B. Have a look at that section. You'll also be able to grab that tablature there and your play along and backing audio tracks are downloadable, all for free in this lesson. Go check it out. It's a really fun tune to play. It is a great melody in this E minor key. So pickinglessons.com. I'll see you there.